Greetings, gamers! Welcome to part number 67 of my Let's Play Fire Emblem 4 Genealogy of the Holy War, and in today's episode I'm going to be waiting right here at the banks of this river with Seliph. Seliph. Oh, Seliph. Is somebody there? Oh, Seliph. How have you grown? Could it be mother? Mother? Is it truly you? What a fine young man you've become. Bless Lewin for all he's done to guide you this far. Seliph, never forget your friends, your companions. You must always cherish them. You owe them so. Yes, Mother, I understand. Oh, I've defeated Emperor Arvis. At long last, Father has been avenged. You did. But what of Julius and Julia? I still don't know. Wait, Mother, how could you know of what happened to them? Mother? Seliph? Who's there? Wait, is it you, Father? Listen, Seliph. You must stay humble no matter what. Remember, your power alone was not what put an end to Arvis. What? How do you mean, Father? You must learn the sorrow of the common man, Seliph. Your truth is not the reality of all. Unless you know their pain, these long years of war will have been for naught. Father, come back, please! Seliph, take care, my son. Oh, Mother. And you get the renewal band. I'll be sending this back. I actually like this because it's a really great item to have for Seliph for selling and potentially using if you would like to. I might sell like the Berserk Edge. I was thinking about either selling the Berserk Edge or the Silver Sword. The Silver Sword doesn't have any functional utility or use at this point anymore, whereas the Berserk Edge could have some utility. And then using the renewal band along with my other weapons would be pretty darn good, just because I think that the utility of it all is where you want to be. Ending that turn. And I do believe, yeah, I'm only on turn 29, so I can move up Seliph. I can dance for him and seize the castle right away. I absolutely adore that hidden scene. It is one of my favorite scenes in this game. I remember the first time watching that scene and just absolutely getting sad about it. Just thinking about Sigurd and Deidre and the sacrifice that they had to make. A job well done indeed, Seliph. And would you just look at that? The locals are so happy to see you. Look, they're already pouring into the streets to rejoice at your return. I'm home. At long last, I'm home. Nothing has ever felt this good. But I mustn't celebrate just yet. Julia, right? You must be worried. Something fierce. Got a little thing for her, do you? Oh, no, nothing of the sort. I've had a word with some locals who've seen her. Archbishop Manfor has got his grubby hands on her, by the sound of it. It's a pretty safe bet that Julia is still somewhere in Grandvale. St. Lewin, something feels amiss. We've defeated Arvis and avenged my father, and yet I still feel empty. That'd be because we still have a while to go until we reach the end of this. If anything, the real battle here is only just about to get started. Trust me, by the time this holy war has come to a close, Seliph, the truth behind it all will be clear as day. And moving on to a new chapter. Seliph's long journey is drawing to a close. His army's victories are a beacon of hope to the Empire's victims, and a wave of further rebellion sweeps across Jugdral. First, Celeste was wrestled back from Imperial control by its citizens. And soon after, Augustria's people flocked to arms, burning to fight for their country. But Grandvale itself yet stands. Duke Brian of Dosel and the Axe Knights of the Gruenritter, Duke Scorpius of Ljungby and his elite archers, the Bergenritter, and Phrygia's Queen Hilda and the war mages of the Gelbenritter stand between Seliph and the capital. Valhalla itself lurks under an eerie silence, as Ishtar and the enigmatic 12 Deadlords lie in wait to defend Prince Julius himself. Over a year has passed since that fateful first battle in Isaac. The tragic struggle pitting kin versus kin wears on, splitting the 12 Crusaders between the light and the dark. So begins the final Holy War. Endgame. The final Holy War. Veltomer.
Father died, you say? The Emperor had long served his purpose. Your Majesty, he was little more than an obstacle to your ambitions. He had to die. I almost feel sorry for him. All his life he was your tool, Manfroy, only to be thrown away so casually. All in your Empire's name, your Majesty. Arvis was in lost cause. To think he, a man of Laughter's blood, dared to challenge the revival of the Empire. The righteous heart of the Crusade of Valor burned too fiercely within him. It was only a matter of time until he turned on you. I know. Now, then, I hear those rebels have stumbled as far as Chalfie. Are our defenses really that pathetic? Rest assured, I've already tasked Edda's Bishop Roden and Brian of Dosel with purging Chalfie of these vermin. You've no need to worry, your Majesty. Don't I, now? Where's Julia? She awaits her end in the dungeon. You there, bring us Princess Julia. Ah, Julia, it's been a while, hasn't it? Tell me, do you know who I am? Julius, my brother Julius. Oh, so you do still remember. I can hardly believe 7 long years have passed since you slipped away. Aye, that night is seared into my memory, clear as if it were only yesterday. Good. I trust you remember your mother's final kindness as well. Who? No. What are you? That night, the night Manfroy came with that eerie black tome, nothing was ever the same again. My real brother, the kind and caring boy I once knew and loved so, died that night. In his place stood a demon of terrifying power, my brother in name only. You monster, you've taken my mother and my brother from me. Who are you? What are you? Why must you torment us all so? I am the heir of Lapter's kin, and the inheritor of his limitless power. This world belongs rightfully to me. And you, Julia, you are the heiress to the power of Naga, my eternal foe. I cannot allow you to live any longer. Hold a moment, your Majesty. I believe I have a use for the girl's power. If I may, spare her and leave her to me. Using Naga's power to serve me? Interesting, very interesting. Very well. I must return to Valhalla. Julie is yours, Manfroy, but be warned. Be extremely careful. Even a single mistake with her could cost me dearly. Edda Castle.
His Majesty has issued his command. Priest and sellsword units, defend Edda itself with your very lives. Cavalry unit, move in on Chalfie. Reclaim our land from the rebels.
Chalfie Castle. This is it, Seliph. The final Holy War begins now. A Holy War? Yeah, that's what this is. Julius is descended from Laptrian royalty, and he's been working to revive the Dark Empire. No matter what it takes, we must stop him. It feels as if you know everything, Lewin. I'm beginning to feel left out. Please, what in the world are you talking about? Yeah, sorry about that, Seliph. I know there's a lot I've not been telling you. I spent over a decade on a journey to figure out the truth behind all this, and I'm finally onto a hidden bigger picture here.
The bigger picture?
It seems the old Lopter Empire's founder, the Bishop Gale, dedicated his youth to a world-exploring voyage across the seas. He desired nothing less than to drink the blood of a legendary beast. Even a single drop, he believed, would bestow upon any man limitless power.
Do you mean the dragonkin of old? It couldn't be. Is that not a myth?
You'd think so, but when Gale returned to Drugsville, he bore bizarre powers nobody else understood. With these powers, he set to work swaying youths across the land to aid his ambitions. Before anyone else realized, he'd raised a fell legion of unflinchingly loyal to his cause.
Where then does Lopter enter the tale?
Odds are Lopter was a dragon himself. Every last one of Gale's heirs has borne the blood of the Dragonkin. The dark powers Lopter's kins command are nothing more than the Dragonkin's powers.
And what are the Crusaders?
I'm sure you know how the legend goes. The gods descended upon 12 warriors of the old liberators at the fortress of Darna. But? Sorry, Seliph, but this'll have to wait. The enemy's just about on our doorstep.
The exposition dump begins. Yeah, so the only thing I have a problem with significantly about the final chapter's story is that it is basically an FE6 exposition. And of course, this game did it before FE6, so I'm just showing it as like an akin to it. When you're finally in like the very final chapter of FE6, after you've beaten all the guidance and you've beaten Zephiel and whatnot, all that you get is basically each and every throne you seize, each and every part or pass you go, you get some exposition dump. And I feel like this is not great. I do like some of the points it explains, though, for sure, because some of the points are very necessary to be explained. But otherwise, I don't find it to be all that valuable, in honesty. All right, so I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to go about this. Who am I going to give all of this arena to? So the cool thing about this arena is this arena happens to have every single main enemy boss arena, or boss of an arena in it. I think I'm going to go ahead and use Seliph here as the final arena contender. Let's use the Brave Sword, because it really doesn't matter. Actually, yeah, we'll use the Brave Sword for now. Duelist, the General. He was the first arena boss. Unfortunately, I have a 100 KO Brave Sword. Of course, I feel like fighting another arena. And then Chimos was the second. Particularly in the first generation. I believe Duelist and Chimos are first generation enemies, not second generation. And then number 3 would be Xenon, Swordsmaster, and he is of the second generation. But it doesn't really matter. Man, the fact that he even got a hit in on Seliph when this guy has what, like an 82? I believe he has an 82 critical with this wonderful weapon here. It's actually kind of insane, because right now it's 50 plus his skill. Oh wait, no, it would only be 72, because he gets plus 10 skill from the Tyrfing. He doesn't have that currently. Rank number 5, Baron Kanan with the Magic Ring and Tornado. I do believe that this guy is slightly changed. Kanan, that you originally fight, has the Volcanon. I think this is done because of the next arena fight, for the symbolism of it, which is Atlas, the Baron with the Volcanon and Skill Ring. And I'm almost certain Atlas is from the first generation. This is kind of weird. I could just be totally wrong. It doesn't really matter. These are just arena fights. It doesn't matter. There's no real story behind them. At least not a relevant story. I do think that some of them are supposed to be
callbacks or cameos of other characters or things in the Fire Emblem franchise. And then finally, Zeus, Emperor, with the Earth Sword and Pursuit Band. I find it weird that he has a Pursuit Band. Why can't he just have Pursuit innately? I know that Barons don't. I guess they didn't want to like code that in, so they just gave him a Pursuit Band because it would be easier. Emperor class should, in my humble opinion, have Pursuit. I think the reason why he doesn't is because there is actually a chance of Arvis outspeeding some of your units, especially your units that have like axes and lances, because Arvis has 15 attack speed. It's not all that hard to outspeed somebody who's using an axe or a lance if you have 15 attack speed. So fighting Zeus, the Emperor, he is going to be absolutely destroyed, though he outspeeds Seliph, which is kind of funny. Even if he were to hit a couple of times, he will heal, but it's not really that big of a deal. As you can see, Zeus is probably the biggest threat in this arena, but the very big problem here is that if you have something as powerful as the Brave Sword, I actually am going to sell the Silver Sword and the Brave Sword for now. You don't really have to worry about it. Retrieve the Renewal Band. And then I'm going to start depositing stuff to get it out of my way so that I can reorganize my inventory. I will have to reorganize later again, but it's not going to matter. It's going to be off screen, so on and so forth. So I was through the arena, and I'm pretty well set. I just have to repair my weapons. The Javelin is actually potentially going to come in handy here. It is very useful for Seliph to have it. With that being said, though, it is time for me to go on my preparations for the rest of my units. And this arena is going to take a while because I have to go through it with everybody and make sure everybody has prepared weapons and items. There's going to be no other changes for this chapter. So I will see you when that is finished. Alright gamers, I am back, and everybody has gone through the arena who is necessary to do so. Most people are capped. This chapter is going to be kind of a breeze because I don't need to do anything. There's no hidden events or secrets that you have to worry about, except for the recruitment of a certain unit that comes over in this vicinity. I'm going to need L10 over here, and it's not really a recruitment. The best way I can put this is that some of my units, a strike team if you will go over to Edda and deal with all of them. In fact, basically only 4 units, right? 4 and Sylvia are going to go over here. And it would seem kind of a very daunting task because there are a lot of sleep staffs, in fact 5 to be exact. I'm not even going to have to worry about any of these. Because I'm going to be doing something a little bit cheeky, and that revolves around the rescue staff, as well as Sylvia's dance. I'm just going to basically be KOing the boss with Seliph and seizing, and the moment I seize, all of these units just go bye-bye. So all of these are affiliation with Edda. Now this group right here is going to have to be dealt with probably by Arthur. I think that's the most reasonable crew or group to do so. There are silences, Fenrir's, all throughout here. You kind of want to deal with them as soon as possible. My flyers are going to be dealing with most of these and like other 2-range units. But after you seize Edda, you're going to be swarmed from this castle on 2 fronts. The front that goes down here is far and away more deadly. So in reality, what I'm going to have to do is I'm probably going to have to warp. I almost want to just skip out on using... I might skip out on using Arthur here. In fact, I might use Lightbrand Dermot to deal with all of these guys. I think he would have a very reasonable chance to do so. And then Arthur is going to stay over here because Arthur is going to have quite the battle to deal with, including a holy weapon of sorts. So with that in mind, I have to be mindful of where I can move you. let's say right here. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, it would probably be better if I were to just KO as many of these as I can. I think I have enough units to do so. Yeah, I think I do. So I think it's perfectly fine for me to just move my necessary units over here. So we're going to do Dermot. We might need some more ranged help over here. We might. And then, of course, I need Leaf over here as well. He's going to be danced for. I just have to make sure that I'm out of the range of this unit. Man, I'm almost thinking that it's not worth it necessarily to do a dance here because, well, it's still going to be worth it. It absolutely will. I just have to, because I do have to KO all of these units. But maybe it would have been better if I used my Dancer to take care of all the Loptrians over here. I think it'll be fine. So, Dermot will go within the range of everyone. Well, it's most everyone I would like him to be. This should be. This should be the furthest unit away. So, yes, I'm going to put you right here. Of course, equip the light brand. And I'll put Seliph right here. What I could do is attack with the Wind Sword and... no, probably the Brave Bow would be better here. Perfect. Awesome. And Wind Sword on you. This is probably not going to yield much unless I get a bunch of adepts or crits. And I got neither, which is kind of funny. But it could end up helping. So, Ced. I'm pretty sure Ced will be able to finish him off. One more attack. Nobody's proccing skills right now. That's kind of wild. Alright, so... Eltenna will go to the right. He just has a silence. So I would actually hate for this silence to work against Leaf. If Leaf gets silenced here, this is basically a reset. So I'm going to have to KO both of these silence users, regardless of the fact that Ced decided he wasn't going to. If I don't double here, well, doesn't matter, I crit. Eltenna was of great use here. I actually would much prefer Fee to move left, but she can move right for the time being. I think that's fine. And a sibling crit. Very nice. Not necessary, even in the remotest, because the Brave Lance is already well past crit. Oh, yeah. I just love this game's mechanics. I just really do. 79 KOs. And who shall take out you? Probably somebody not useful. So... I guess that goes to you, I'm supposing. Now you do want units to defend some of the castles. I find that it's not truly necessary, especially if you do what I do with Eltenna, but it can help. And to begin, the onslaught over here. I don't think any of these guys could put Arthur to sleep. Well, actually, yes, they could. Or silence, I should say, not sleep. Yes, they could. You don't have a javelin. Neither do you. You only have a hand axe. So I will have to silence one of you, unfortunately. Because a silenced Arthur would be pretty detrimental here. I would have no way of being able to remove that silence status. And that's pretty good. That's pretty perfect, actually. Oifi can help. I don't know exactly how much he's going to help here, but you know what? Even if it's just a little bit of damage, I'm happy. Then again, I take that kind of back. Can he do more? Yeah, he can do way more with this. Is he going to double, though, is the question. I would hope so. This guy is using a Jormungandr. Still not a kill, though. I gave Sigurd's silver sword to Oifi. I thought that was kind of poetic. Not at all necessary, but poetic. All right. Earth sword. This is a KO. One less Fenrir to have to deal with, though it doesn't matter. I'm actually going to get out of this castle and heal up Oifi, so there is that. One thing I did forget to do, however, is give Patty's gold away to Sigurd. I guess I could do that at some other point. Maybe if I warp him back to the home castle, I could give Patty's gold away. I think that would probably be a pretty good idea. Physic, fortify. I don't know why I just used the fortify there. But Oifi is healed up to a good extent. And one more moved out. So yeah, one of the reasons why I like moving Fee to the left, and again, it's not really the biggest of deals. I guess I'll guard castle with you, Hannibal. Is because I can get over there in a couple of turns, but Fee is a great option for dealing with this final one over here. You can't reach him by anybody other than a flyer. So it's necessary to have a flyer go and do such. The rest of my units are actually of no importance here. Sad. Bit of a shame, but that's just how it goes. Alright, Edda's crew will move out. Most of them should go ahead and attack Dermot. I don't think he should be KO'd here. I really don't. I think there's only, what, 2 Lance units that can attack him? Alright. This will also help him with the KOs, because he's not quite yet at maximum KOs with the Light Brand, and I would really love him to be, because it just makes him, a better overall unit. Alright. Dermot, show them all the sword. So what I do after I defeat this crew is I put them right up next to, like, the sleep line, however far the priest can reach with sleep. And then after that, I then move them all out on the following turn. I was going to say, Dermot, don't tell me you're not going to KO here. And I will use the rescue staff shenanigans to make sure that Seliph is capable of KOing the boss and taking the castle. Alright. He needed to dodge that, unfortunately. Good thing he did, too. I think those two were mage knights wielding swords, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, and this guy's got a javelin, so I wonder if he's going to hit Dermot. Your head's going to a huge bounty, you know. No hard feelings, but die. And he missed Dermot, so Dermot is safe this turn because there's nobody else who can attack him. Roberto is going to be perished very shortly. I don't even think I needed the second crit, but thank you, Dermot.
This can't be.
It can be, Roberto. You are facing down the sword of the mighty Seliph and crew. I do believe that's all that happens here. I've often always wondered why all of the units decide, or at the end of this turn, like, nothing happens. There's like this moment of nothing going on really, but your units are just sitting there while the enemy is taking its time. And I want to say that the AI, this is just conjecture, I don't actually know, but the AI of the edit crew here is meant to have them move if you are within range, and that is how they work. It's just the fact that they don't necessarily do that all the time, which is kind of weird. All right, so again, I cannot be past this tree, so that's a pretty good marker there, actually. I'm going to obviously heal up with the staff because Dermot does need it. All four of these units over here are just going to be perished in a moment. The beloved Brave Sword coming in clutch, destroying yet another foe. Doesn't need crit on it, but not like I can really do anything about necessarily that. The Tierfing is wonderful here. And then I've got the 4 units left. What's cool is I could just KO these 2 and then worry about the other with another unit. Perfect. Dermot, very good job. And then he can sit here, obviously. Yeah, in my humble opinion, I actually find that Miletus is the hardest chapter in this game. And what's a bit of a shame about that is that you would hope that Fire Emblem would one of these days get final bosses correct, but it doesn't really seem to. I think Thracia has the best final boss and final boss chapter, and it's not even because the final boss is hard, it's because of story. Alright, Altena will strike down this unit, hopefully. I mean, she's going to need 2 hits, but he can't even do damage to her. And she one-shot with a crit. Very nice. Good level up. Totally not necessary, but I appreciate it nonetheless. And then the rest of my units are just going to move as necessary. So Ced is a unit that I actually like using to guard this castle. He gets there after a billion years, but, you know, he gets there when he gets there. Faval wouldn't be a bad choice either, and the reason why that is because of something going potentially wrong. Arthur can strike down yet another foe. This Loptrian has seen better days, unfortunately. I am going to silence the other Loptrian so I don't have to worry about being pelted by the Jormungandr or the Fenrir for the rest of this chapter. So let's just go ahead and do that. Silence. And then Fee will be able to reach the very next turn, I believe. Even if it's not, it doesn't matter. He's going to be silenced for 5 turns. Alright, so Ares and Ares and Arthur can take the front line. I actually think I'm going to end up putting Arthur right about here so that nobody can pass him.
And I believe some of my units are damaged. Johan is damaged. That's actually kind of interesting. I guess I'll blow another fortify. Careprey is about to go into the castle and pretty much never be seen again in this chapter. Though, if I'm not mistaken, he does have the conversation with Altena in this chapter. I can check. Okay, not right now. It's not going to matter, grand scheme of things. I just don't... I couldn't be bothered. I just couldn't be bothered. Alright, so... with this position... yeah, I can't reach it technically yet. I need dance and rescue after the dance to make that a viable option. I am going to, however, because Lester isn't needed right now, I am going to use the Brave Bow to strike down this mercenary so he doesn't come after any of my other units, which is very nice. 88 KOs on that weapon. 100 on the light brand. Very awesome. Now, I would love to continue this chapter, or I should say this episode, but I am at the end of said episode. I want to thank you for joining me. If you like my content, please upvote and follow, or like and subscribe, depending on your platform of choice. Leave a comment down below. Tell me how I'm doing, how you are liking the Let's Play itself, and my units. Some of the choices I made, I think, are pretty fun. I think they're fun. I'm not saying they're optimal. Dermot being a magical-based unit, for instance, is probably not what people would call optimal, but he does have 75 crit with this light brand. He's basically guaranteed to crit with a 34 magical-based weapon. Insane, insane, insane. Or is it 33? It'd be 33. With all that being said, have a great and glorious day gaming.